Hi, and welcome to today's webinar. I hope everyone's having a great start to 2019. And this webinar is titled The 2019 Online Marketing Plan for Appliance Repair Companies. So we're going to discuss some of the strategies and sources of leads that you want to focus on in 2019 to keep your techs busy. So here are some things that we're going to cover. Your goals for 2019. So primarily, how many leads do you want to get to hit your revenue targets at the end of the year? You know, at the beginning of the year is a great time to figure this out so you can develop some type of roadmap to get you to where you want to be. We're going to talk about the 3 fundamentals of marketing success for appliance repair companies. We're going to talk about how to optimize your website for conversion in 2019 and beyond. We're going to look at the big picture of all the online marketing channels you should be tapping into if you want to maximize your lead flow online. And we're going to look at some of the latest appliance repair marketing trends that you should focus on in 2019. And then we're going to talk about how to develop a custom action plan based on where you are right now and what you need to do to take your business to the next level. So please give me your attention. Turn off the cell phones, at least put them on silent. If you have Facebook up, let's turn that off. And if you're an appliance repair business owner and you're serious about getting better results in 2019, then the next 50 to 60 minutes will definitely benefit you. And if you stay till the end, I'm going to give you a few bonuses. I'm going to give you the ultimate appliance repair online marketing checklist. I'm going to give you the most commonly searched appliance repair keywords for SEO and pay-per-click. Now, this is one of the things that have changed in 2018, and there's certain keywords that started to get popularity in 2018. And it's only going to get bigger in 2019 and beyond. So we're going to talk about some of those exact ones, as well as I'm going to give you a link where you can get at least 100 of these keywords, just so you're up to date on what keywords you should be targeting. And then we're going to talk about the online marketing blueprint. I'm going to give you this image here so you can take a better look at it. And this is what your overall appliance repair marketing strategy should look like, with several different sources to keep yourself busy. So who am I and why should you listen to me? My name is Marlon Thomas. I'm the author of How to Generate a Flood of Leads, Customers, and Profits for Your Appliance Repair Business. I'm widely accepted as a premier expert in the internet marketing for the appliance repair industry. I work with several appliance repair businesses across the United States. I'm a consultant, speaker, and trainer for online marketing agencies. And at the Appliance Experts, we are appliance repair marketing experts. What do I mean by that? It means all we do day in, day out is appliance repair marketing. Whether it's SEO, PPC, Google Maps, we're using those things every single day to deliver our clients appliance repair leads. So because we focus on that, we're expert at it, and we're going to share some of that information with you today. Now, I did send you a workbook via email, so if you don't have it open, now is a great time to do it. If for some reason you didn't get the email, you can find it at our website at appliancerepairmarketingsecrets.com/workbook. And it's a PDF download, so you can follow along as we go through this webinar and take some notes. So what are your goals for 2019, right? How much money do you want to make by the end of the year? What is your revenue target? How much is that on a monthly basis? So once you decide how much you want to make by the end of the year, we need to break that down on a monthly basis. And then we need to figure out from there how many calls or leads that you're going to need to achieve this on a monthly or weekly basis. To be able to figure these targets out, what we're going to need to do is decide on what your average transaction value is. And, that's going to vary from appliance repair company to appliance repair company, as well as from region to region. So this number is very specific to your appliance repair company. And to figure out the average value, if you were to get 10 calls today or 10 leads today that did hire you, what do you think that average would be? Like the average job that was completed, what do you think that would be? That's what we're trying to figure out. So for a lot of appliance repair companies, that's somewhere between 150 and 250 in most cases. If you do a lot of high-end repair jobs, then it may be a little bit higher. But for the average appliance repair company that just focuses on the typical brands, it's usually around 150 to 250. The next thing we want to look at is what the lifetime value of your customers are. And what I mean by that is an appliance repair customer should not just be a one-time customer, right? It should be someone that's going to call you when any of their other appliances break in their home. And it's also going to be someone that's going to refer their friends and family to you. So when you factor all those things in, you can determine what the value of a customer is. And in most cases, that's somewhere around $1,000 or more dollars is what an actual customer is worth. Now, there's certain things you have to do to hit that amount, right? So following up with the customers on a regular basis, staying in touch with them, is a great way to remind them, right? So if you service their appliance in say January, and they have a friend that needs something fixed, or one of their appliances break in August of this year, they may or may not remember you. All right. So what are you doing to stay in front of them? One great thing that you can do is having those magnets, right, that you can put on a refrigerator or put on the different appliances. That way is continuously in front of them. Another great thing for the beginning of the year is a lot of people are looking for almanacs or calendars, right, that they can put on the fridge or put on their home. And you see a lot of real estate agents do this with the calendars and the magnets. It's a great thing to also adopt into the appliance repair industry, and that way you'll start to increase that customer value. So if you see that you get a lot of one-off customers that only hire you once and never ever call you back, that's definitely one way you can start improving that. All right, and how many technicians will you need to hit that goal? So let's say, a one-man operation, which I've seen so many times do this, is it's not unusual for a one-man operation to hit 100,000. That's assuming he can get the leads that he needs, and doing 4 to 5 jobs a day, can easily make $100,000 per year. So if your goal is higher, let's say you want to make 300,000, 500,000 or more, then you're going to need some help. And so if you want to hit a goal that's higher, how many technicians are you going to need? So if you want to hit 200,000, you're probably going to need at least one more technician. But if they're part-time, you may need 2. So whatever you decide on, are you going to try and accomplish this yourself, or you're going to try and hire some technicians so you can hit that bigger target? So let's look at an actual example where let's put some numbers to it to make this a little bit more realistic. So I'm going to assume that you want to hit 100,000 by the end of the year, right? Breaking that down on a monthly basis, that's about $8,300 per month. The average transaction value that I'm going to use for this example is 150. So I'm going at the lower end. And then how many calls will that require to hit $8,300 per month? It's 56 phone calls per month. All right, and to figure that out, I divided the monthly target of 8,300 by the average transaction value. And then how many technicians you're going to need, that's a number you have to fill in. Because I'm going with 100,000 and I know that one technician can do that, we're not going to include any for this particular example. So how many leads will you need? So now we have the target, right? We know how many calls we need to get in, but we also know that every single phone call that comes in or every lead doesn't necessarily result into a book job, right? So if we want to get 56 booked completed jobs per month, we know that we need more than 56 calls, right? Because each call doesn't equal a book job. So to figure this out, we now need to figure out what is the average conversion rate from caller to book job, right? So this is a very important number. So some of you may have an idea about this. It may be 50%. Ideally, where you want to be is about at 80%, or 80 to 90, I should say, would be a really good conversion from call to book job. And there's several variables that will affect this, like whether or not you have same day service. So once you decide on this, but I think the average, I would say, for an appliance repair company is about 50%. So once you figure out your conversion rate, you want to multiply that by the call target. And I'm going with an average conversion rate here of 55%. So that's from 55% of all the calls or the leads that come in are going to actually turn into a book job. All right, so I'm going to take the 56 calls times 1.55, and that's going to tell me that I need at least 86 leads per month to hit that target. All right, so 86 phone calls or leads per month is what we're going to need to get 56 book jobs per month. All right, so hopefully you have those calculations down. And the question now is, what are your goals for 2019? So let's take a step back now, and we want to take a look at some of the marketing fundamentals. Message, market, and media are the three things we're going to focus on. So the message is the what. So what are you putting out there in your advertising as your message? The market is who you're advertising to, right? So the consumers. And then the media is how you're advertising, or what sources are you using to get this message out to your market. Who is your ideal customer? Now, if you were to take a look at all the customers that you got in 2018, and if you were to find out all the similarities in between them or amongst all of them, you would start to notice that there's certain commonalities that stand out. So there is an ideal customer. You may or may not be aware of it, but there's certain characteristics that are standing out from your customers. So for some of you, you may get more female than male, or vice versa. For some of you, you may get more single parents versus married couples, or vice versa. So these are some of the things that if you really look into all your customers for last year or before that, you start to notice that there's certain things that are common. Now, if you can identify these common things among your customers, you can then create a better message to put out there, right? So to communicate with them. So here's a worksheet, and this is included in the webinar worksheet. So you take some notes, but we're going to look at the pains and frustration of consumers that typically hire appliance repair companies. We're going to look at the goals and desires, their dreams and aspirations, and fears and implications. All these to give us a better idea of what an ideal customer for an appliance repair business looks like. So let's look at some demographic information here on the left. Some of the demographics would be homeowners, the age range, male or female. Are they married? Are they married with kids? Is it the head of the household that typically calls in? What's the average income, right? Are they family-oriented, reliable, easily frustrated, likes to please people, not handy? That's probably a big one, right? If they're not calling an appliance repair company, or if they're calling an appliance repair company, it's one of the reasons could be that they're not handy. But the other thing is they could just be really busy, right? They just don't have time to do that. Some examples of pains and frustration is the appliance is not working. Big pain and frustration. Can't get an appliance repair company on the phone or to return their phone call. Need to get the appliance issue resolved like right away, today. Not tomorrow, not next week. They're too busy to deal with it. And they're worried that the situation at home could become unhealthy for their family. Fears and implications. And these things are huge, right? 'Cause this you may or may not even be aware of, but just understanding that these things will help you to communicate and craft a better advertising message. So they are afraid of being ripped off or overcharged. 'Cause these things happen all the time to consumers. Paying too much for something they could have gotten elsewhere, right? They don't want to pay to fix an appliance that's not worth fixing. Or that's not going to last them a few more years once they actually fix it. Having their home damaged by faulty workmanship, right? The technician comes in and he creates damage to the floor. Having to wait around for the tech to arrive, right? Some consumers wait around all day for a tech to call them at the end of the day saying they can't come. Now they just took time off from work and they didn't get paid for it, and now they still have this broken appliance, right? Being inconvenienced trying to coordinate with the tech, right? There's not a whole lot of availability in the schedule, causing a disaster to the home, and the invoice may be bigger than they can actually afford. As far as the goals and desires are concerned, they want to get their appliance fixed. They want to have the issue behind them. They want to have a well-kept home. They want to take care of their family, more income, more money, more wealth, live in a nicer, luxurious home, drive a nicer car, happy, healthy kids, spend more time with the family instead of trying to figure out how to fix an appliance, right? These are all goals and desires of the typical consumer. If you can see the customers through the customer's eyes, then you can sell what the customer buys. Basically, the reason we looked at all those fears, desires, goals, demographics for the consumer is if you can get into the consumer's head and understand how they think, then you can better sell them on your appliance repair services. So let's now talk about how to craft your advertising message. So what is your message? Why should someone choose your appliance repair company over your competition? See if you could list 3 things there. Right? Why should they choose you? You don't want to be a commodity type business. And what I mean by that is if you were to go into a supermarket and you wanted to pick up some milk, right? You pretty much just go and you grab a gallon of milk, right? You don't do too much research here. Maybe you look at the expiry date, all right? But you don't go too much further in there. Just like picking up a head of lettuce. Right? It doesn't require a whole lot. Now, you don't want to be like that, right? You don't want the consumers to just think, okay, we have 20 appliance repair companies in our local area, and they're all the same, right? There's something that needs to stand out for your appliance repair company for consumers to choose you. All right. And then what benefits do you offer that your target customer can connect with or resonate with? So here are some marketing messages that work really well. And this is just to give you some ideas of how to come up with some messages that work, but there's so many more to this. And you probably already have some in mind the moment I ask you that question. So same day service is great. We're going into a marketplace now where consumers want same day service. It's this on-demand marketplace, right? They don't want to wait too long. And the thing is, with the internet, it makes it so easy for consumers to find an appliance repair company nowadays. So it's not go look in the yellow pages and then have to flip through and then have to actually punch the number in the phone or use the rotary dialer. It's so easy. It's a tap of a button, right? They do a quick search and there's all the appliance repair companies close to them are there on their phone and they just tap. That's it. So because it's a lot easier and because consumers had this on-demand mentality, now if you don't have same-day service, they're probably just going to say, okay, I'll call you back, which in most cases, as you know, they don't. So that's very important. If you can figure out a way to offer same-day service, if you have emergency service or 24-hour service, that's great to put in your advertising message. Having an on-time guarantee is huge because we talked about one of the fears and frustration is them sitting around all day, right, and having to take off work. With an on-time service guarantee, you will definitely stand out from your competition. I'm seeing very few appliance repair companies actually adopt this. And it's usually the bigger ones that are able to because they have a lot more techs. They have a lot more things in place to be able to do this. Straightforward pricing, upfront pricing is great. Satisfaction guarantee is another good one, right? Consumers want to know that you're going to stand behind the repair that you just did. They want trustworthy technicians and they want an experienced technician coming in to fix the problem the first time. All right, so all these things, you're now getting into the consumer's head if you think about it. So their appliance is broken. When do they want service? Fast, same-day service. If you have a coupon, right, everybody wants to save money, right? So you can see how as we go down this list of things, you're getting into in their head. And they know if it's after hours, you're not going to charge extra. The technician comes out in professional attire. They put on those little booties before they come into their home, right, to cover their shoes. And you have a guarantee to stand behind the work, right? I mean, you really, if you offer this, you've really just made the case to a consumer to hire you, right? They're probably not even going to look around. Maybe the only other thing they need to look at from this point is if they wanted to is some reviews. But if it's a situation where that refrigerator is not cooling, this is what they want to see and they're going to immediately call. Now let's take a look at media, right? And this is the how. How are you going to get that message out to consumers in your local market? Your website is your hub. So all your marketing pretty much comes back to the website, right? And this is why the website is such an important conversion element. So is your website set up to convert visitors to callers, right? You could have people come into your website, but the end goal of that is for them to pick up the phone and actually call. Right? So one of the best things you could do is have your phone number in the upper right hand corner, because that's really what they're looking for. If they click on the ad, they're looking for that phone number. And immediately, there's so many studies on this actually, that where the eyes goes when we look at pages, whether it's web page or book, it's usually to the upper right corner is where eyes by default will go. This is an infographic we created, which we refer to as the Ultimate Appliance Repair Website Conversion Machine. So this talks about all the different elements. If you want a well converting website, these are the things that you need to have on there. Right? So we talk about having the phone number in the upper right hand corner. You want to have your logo. You want to have trust icons, and that would be like the Better Business Bureau, Angie's List, Yelp, things like that. Will help the consumer to feel a little bit more that you're a trusted company. Client testimonials are important, having a mobile responsive design, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later, why that's important going into 2019. And you want to have a call to action, right, which is basically telling the consumer, call now, call us today, schedule your appointment today. Those are all great examples. So why the mobile-friendly website? Mobile searches online have now exceeded desktop for online searches in 2018, and it's just going to continue. More and more people are just using their phones for everything nowadays. They're pretty much just phasing out, desktop computers. Google switched in 2018 from a desktop index to a mobile index. So what that means is they used to focus more on desktop computers, right? They optimized their search engine based on a desktop computer. In 2018, they shift that because they saw how mobile searches are becoming more popular, and now their index or their search engine is optimized for mobile. Without a mobile-friendly website, you're losing customers. So if you started to see less customers in 2018 and your website's not mobile-friendly, this could be one of the reasons why you saw less customers then. If you want to check your website, there's two ways you can do it. You can manually do it, right? So just take your phone, and it's good to take a look at using an iPhone as well as an Android device and see how it looks on the different phones, because it will display differently. And you want to make sure that your website is easy to use on both phones. But even then, even if you just did that quick and simple test, it's also good to know what does Google think. And you can go to this website that they have, search.google.com/tests/mobile-friendly, and just put your website URL in there, and they'll tell you what they think. They actually give you a score. So that's very important. Highly recommend that you do that if you know that, even if you do have a mobile-friendly site, it's good to take a look at it. It's free to do, because you may need to contact your developer to make some changes that Google recommends, because it can only help your rankings. If there's something that Google doesn't like and you fix it, it will definitely help. Not just with the rankings, but it also is going to help with consumers. So can conversion optimization really have an impact on your overall lead generation? So is your appliance repair website set up for conversion? Does it speak to your ideal customers or target avatar? Does it address the fears and frustrations that we just discussed? And does it clearly communicate to a consumer why they should choose you over your competition? Does it have real authentic images of the team or your team? Does it include video elements on your website? Does it have a welcome video? Videos for each of the different services? Videos explaining why someone should contact you versus your competition? Does it showcase your online reviews where consumers can easily find it, whether it's on the home page, the top of every page? Does it make it easy for them to take action and get in contact with you? That's why we talk about having that phone number in the upper right hand corner, because that's where they're going to be looking for it. But you should have that phone number on every single page of your website. So you want to get those basics in order. Phone number in the upper right hand corner. Give customers an alternate way to contact you. So it shouldn't just be phone calls, but there should be a form that they can fill out, because not all consumers are able to speak on the phone when they need to find an appliance repair company. So having that web form will be a great way for them to reach out to you and schedule the appointment that way. You want to add credibility and authority symbols, such as the Better Business Bureau, Angie's List. If you're part of Home Advisor, that's great too. Update the call to action on each page, right? So the call to action is basically telling the consumer what you want them to do. Call today. Call us now. You want to have this on all pages and tell them exactly what you want them to do. Now, do you have tracking in place? Are you tracking your advertising? Right? How do you know if your advertising is working or not? One of the best ways to do this is to put tracking in place. So call tracking is great. It's a very inexpensive way to figure out if an advertising source is working. You may be using several different sources now and they're all bringing you leads, but how many of those are actually turning into book jobs? Right? Call tracking will help you to figure this out. What's the average cost per call generated? Right? So you're getting leads, but at what cost? What's your return on investment? Setting up simple dashboards to measure your key performance indicators is a great way to figure out if you're on track. Right? It's kind of like going to the doctor and they're looking at different vitals to figure out how healthy you are. You kind of want to do the same thing with your marketing, right? Just because you're getting phone calls in doesn't mean it's the best source of advertising for you, right? And what gets measured gets done. So far we've covered that you want to have clear goals and a target to go after in 2019. You want to get clear about your market, right? So who is your ideal customer? You want to get clear on the messages that you're going to use to communicate to the customers about why they should choose you. And then you want to get clear on what media or source of advertising you're going to use. Primarily, we discuss the website, it being the hub, and why it needs to be set up for conversion, because that's where a majority of your customers or visitors to your advertising is going to go to your website. You want to make sure your website is mobile friendly and optimized for conversion. And you want to set up simple key performance indicator tracking so you can see what your return on investment is. You can see what your true cost per lead is from the different advertising. And you can decide whether it's really working for you, right? And then you can determine if, source A isn't working as good as you thought. Now that you look at the actual numbers, then you can either decide to maybe spend less money there and spend more money with, source B, so you can get an overall better return on investment. So this is the online dominance blueprint. Right, so there's 7 things here that we think you should be doing if you want to start getting consistent leads for your appliance repair business. So it's SEO, PPC, retargeting, paid online directories, repeat and referrals, pay-per-lead sources, social media advertising, and finally you want to have a referral program coming in. So let's just look at those real quick in a little bit more detail. So for SEO, which is primarily the foundation of your online marketing, you want to have strong copy and conversion elements on the website. You want to do on-page optimization. You're going to need to do some link building. And link building is still the #1 way to get your website on the first page of Google. You want to start getting citations. So you want to do citation development. You want to actively do blogging. So at least once a month, you should be publishing some type of blog post on your website. And you want to do reputation management, right? Because even if you get your website on the first page, if it's associated with a lot of bad reviews, even being at the top of the first page, it's not going to help you if there's bad reviews. So you want to stay on top of your online reputation on a regular basis. And primarily with SEO, you're looking to get leads from Google, Bing, and Yahoo. Those would be your main sources. The second source is pay-per-click or PPC. The big player here again is Google AdWords and Bing ads. So you could look into doing some PPC advertising. There's different sources of this as well, because there's Yelp that offers some type of PPC, and there's the different directory sites like Yellow Pages that also have some type of PPC platform. You want to consider retargeting. And what retargeting is all consumers that come to your website don't call for one reason or another, right? So there is a way to retarget using Google and Facebook, where Google or Facebook will show ads for your appliance repair company after the consumer has left your website. It's a form of PPC, but we have to list this separately because it's a whole different marketing platform, and it's a lot cheaper than regular PPC as well. So this is a way to pick up some of those customers that actually didn't call. Some of them may have gotten distracted. You know, later on that day, here's an ad for your appliance repair company that pops up and reminds them to schedule that appointment. Paid online directory sites like Yelp, Yellow Pages, Angie's List, all these are worth testing so you can see if it actually works for your area. They all won't, but it's worth testing to see. Repeat and referrals. This is where email marketing comes in place. You want to touch base with them at least once a month with email marketing. And social media. Social media posts is more of a daily post, but it shouldn't be all salesy. And that's like one of the biggest mistakes I see with appliance repair companies. Like every day they're posting, you know, a sales type ad, same day service, 50% off, right? It needs to be more educational, right? So maybe one day you do an educational post of how to maintain appliances. The next day it could just be some type of inspirational quote. Because social media is not like Google, where it's consumers come to Google to find a solution to their problem, versus social media is more like a billboard, right? Consumers go on social media to hang out with their friends and family and see what the latest update is in regards to their friends and family, not to buy things. So if most of your messages are salesy on social media, you're not going to get a whole lot of interaction there. All right, number 6, lead generation providers, right? Lead generation providers, you want to think of them as a vitamin supplement, right? You're supposed to take supplements to supplement your main meals, right? You don't want to just say, hey, I'm going to stop eating and just take vitamins, right? No, that's not how it works. You want to have your own sources of advertising outside of lead generation, and then make lead generation come in and supplement what you're already doing. Now, if you're a one-man operation, lead generation is going to help you to develop your customer base, right? And your other sources of advertising. And then once you get bigger, this is when lead generation now becomes a smaller portion of your lead generation. All right, then social media advertising, again, think of this more of like a billboard on the street, right? So the billboard's up and you're just hoping that people will drive by and eventually call you. This is how social media works, because again, they're not there to buy things. So they're there to check up on their family, they see the ad, and hopefully they'll call. All right, and then you want to have a referral program in place. You want to incentivize these consumers to refer their friends and family, right? You don't want to just leave it up, hey, whenever you need somebody that needs appliance repair, have them give me a call. Incentivize them to do this. So you want to give them, it could just be a $5 gift card, right, to Target or some type of supermarket. Having a monthly newsletter where you publish and send out to them, and then there's a rewards program. So maybe you give them some type of discount if they call back for another appliance. So that's what the online dominance blueprint looks like. And the more of these things you can implement in your business, the more or the better position you are to dominate your local marketplace. All right, so this is probably what a lot of you have been waiting for, the key trends for 2019. So one of the things that picked up probably like in the mid 2018 is Google local service ads. Some of you may or may not have heard of it, or some of you may actually already started using it and testing it. So that's going to pick up a lot more for 2019, right? If you're not familiar with it, it's Google's pay per lead program. So you may be used to the pay per click. So with Google local services, you're paying per lead versus per click. And there's call only ads for their regular AdWords platform. Again, mobile searches are picking up. So Google has developed what is called call only ads. These actually have been around for a couple of years now, but it's not that popular yet. But I did want to put it on here because if we're going into this mobile marketplace and you're not using call only ads, it's one of those things you should test, right? Mobile searches exceed desktop. Google Maps has shifted from a centroid focus to a proximity focus. What do I mean by that? Normally, you just need to have an address in the main city of your service area or the main city of the county. And if you had a verified address that was ranking number 1 for the main city, then that same Google Map listing would be shown across the entire county as long as that's within your service area. So that's what the ranking used to be based on, like how Google would display it. So, but because of, again, the mobile marketplace is here, Google then now switched from the centroid focus to a proximity focus. And what that means is they're now displaying results, or appliance repair company results, as close to the consumer as possible. And they're basically using the GPS location data to show the appliance repair company that's closer to them, all right, or closer to the consumer. So you may have seen a drop in leads. If you used to get a lot of leads from Google Maps in the past, and you started to see a drop off last year, this is probably one of the reasons why, is because now it's a proximity focus. Your rankings haven't changed. It's just that Google is not showing it as much as they used to in the past. There has been a shift from phone conversion to messaging conversion, right? There's a lot of consumers are now using messaging to contact the appliance repair company instead of actually calling, right? So if you look at your Google Map listing, it does have a section to allow the customer to message, because Google is seeing that trend coming in. So that's why we talked about earlier having some type of web form on your website so someone can actually submit a message versus calling. is great to have. And one thing we didn't talk about, but relates to messaging, is now adding a chat feature, a live chat feature to your website. That's going to also help a lot with this conversion from phone to more of a messaging type situation. And then you want to use multiple marketing channels. If you aren't already, if you're just kind of relying on one source of advertising, because that's just what works for you, but you haven't actually tested other sources. If really what you're looking for is consistent leads, right? How are you going to hit that target goal of what did we say, the 86 calls per month, assuming you want to hit 100,000? One source of advertising may not be able to help you to hit those goals. So you might want to just start exploring different sources, whether it's SEO, which is more of a long-term type strategy, PPC, whether you may be doing Google, how about testing with Bing and Yahoo, or if you haven't tried local service ads, now may be the time to start testing that. If you haven't worked with any lead generation companies, you may also want to start exploring that. And then your social media. Social media is a great way to stay in front of your existing customers and to get referrals. So start thinking about working with multiple marketing channels as we go into 2019 and beyond. I just wanted to show you what home service ad looks like, just to give you a preview on this. And we're actually going to do a webinar on this pretty shortly. It's just so you know, home service ads is not available in all markets as of right now, but it will be. It will be. So as you can see, the top 3 ads there across the screen, that's your home service ads. And notice it's above the regular Google AdWords ads. All right, so you actually get to be at the top. That's prime real estate, and that's why it there's a greater charge than what you would be paying with AdWords. But you at least you get people calling in. And then it's up to you from there to actually do the scheduling. So what can you expect with local service ads? A lower cost per lead than PPC. In some cases, not all. And this is why we talked about earlier, it's important to start putting tracking in place so you can figure out what your true cost per lead is. And then you can start to compare these different sources of advertising. Higher quality leads than some lead generation providers like Home Advisor. The reason is it's these leads are exclusive, right? But you do pay a little bit more than if you're getting a shared lead with Home Advisor. But you get what you pay for when it comes to lead generation. So if you're looking to spend less, you typically get a lower quality lead. If you're looking to pay more, you get a higher quality lead. You still get consumers that are shopping around though. So like most appliance repair companies don't like to pay for leads unless they actually get scheduled, but it's just the nature of the beast. It's there are going to be people that are shopping around. But we talked about the messaging earlier. That's one way to help minimize the shopping around, because if you can get into that consumer's head and you start communicating what their fears and frustrations are, and how you can actually solve the problem and why you are the best choice in town, it will help minimize it. It won't eliminate it, but it will help minimize that type of situation. And you could get a good return on investment with local service ads, but not until you test it. So it's not available in all markets, but it will be very soon. You can find out more by just Googling Google local service ads. Or here's the actual website, ads.google.com/local services/sign up. It does require a background check, similar to like Home Advisor. There's tracking in place so you can see what your ROI is. And you need to update your platform on a regular basis if you decide to give it a try, right? And then use it as long as you're getting a good return on investment. So as long as it makes sense. But give it a fair try. So at least try it for at least 20 or so leads and then make a determination, right? Don't just quit after 2 or 3 leads come in. We're working on this guide right now. We should have it ready in February. So we're creating the ultimate guide to Google local service ads for appliance repair businesses. And it's primarily focused on how to use Google local service ads to get more appliance repair job leads. So we're putting that together, and we're going to give this to everyone for free. There's no cost for it, and we'll do a webinar as well to go over it. But at least you guys will have this to learn more about it and how it can benefit your appliance repair company, so you know what you're getting into if you decide to try it, and hopefully it will help you to make a better decision and help you to use it to the best of its ability. So more on that, as we go into February, we'll send out some emails. All right, so now we're on to search engine optimization, or SEO. This is the big thing with SEO in 2019, or in 2018, I should say. Near me keywords started to pick up a lot of steam. Now, if you're not familiar with what I mean by near me keywords, it's basically your typical keyword with the word near me on the end. So appliance repair near me. This is one of the second, or now it is, by the end of 2018, it became one of the second most popular search term. All right. And there's basically a near me keyword for all the different repair types. So washing machine repair, as well as washer repair near me, refrigerator repair near me. And then there's different synonyms to these, right? So closely related keywords like appliance repair nearby, appliance repair close by. All these fall into the category of near me keywords that are picking up a lot of steam. If your competition don't know about these are some that you could be targeting and just capitalizing on all these near me keywords to get more appliance repair leads. Are you optimized to rank in the Google Maps? So we talked about earlier of how this has changed to more of a proximity type of situation. So that means if you want to rank in multiple cities, you pretty much need an address in multiple cities within your service area. If you're in smaller cities, then some cities will overlap. But let's say you serve an entire county. To get one Google Map listing to now show in the entire county is pretty hard. Not that it can't be done, but it's pretty hard. And an easier way to actually do this is just to have multiple addresses in different cities within your service area. So how is your marketing foundation? Is it strong? This is what it really should look like. So SEO should be the foundation, then social media, paid directories on top of that, and then pay-per-click advertising at the very top there. So are you active on social media? Like, we know that referrals are some of the best leads for appliance repair companies, right? Because number one, that's not going to be a customer that's shopping around. And number two, it probably didn't cost you anything or very little to get those referrals coming in. So social media equals more repeat business and more referrals. Are you taking advantage of paid online marketing channels such as AdWords, other PPC platforms like Yahoo, Bing, Angie's List, Yellow Pages, and Yelp? If you haven't explored these, you may want to just take a look at it, at least give it a test. In some areas they work better than others, but everything's worth testing. So how are you going to build your custom plan for 2019? To help you with that, we're going to give you this ultimate appliance repair online marketing checklist to help you get some of the elements right with your website, since that is the hub. We'll provide you with this checklist when we send out the replay email. We'll send you a link to it where you can download it, And you can just check off the different elements to make sure you have a website that's going to convert visitors into callers and ultimately more leads. So let's talk about a few action items. We've covered a lot of ground. It's almost an hour. What top 3 internet marketing initiatives do you think you could implement in 2019 to hit your goals? Right? Just pick 3 things that you want to try. Whether it's PPC, it could be Google local service ads if it's available in your local area. It could be something to do with SEO. It could be social media. It could be testing lead generation services, right? Just pick 3 that you think you can start implementing. And maybe you already have these 3, right? You have 3 things that are working, but you just want to do more with it in 2019, right? Because if it's not broken, why fix it, right? So just list 3 things that you want to focus on, whether it's 3 new things or just 3 things you already have in place, but you just want to do more of it. And let's just do a quick recap. So we talk about having clear goals and a target for 2019 so we know where we're going, right? It's like you're creating that roadmap to get from point A to point B. You want to get clear on your markets, message, and media. You want to have an optimized and mobile-friendly website that will convert. You want to make sure you have tracking in place so you can figure out whether or not your advertising is working. You want to test pay-per-lead services like Google local service ads, call-only ads. We didn't discuss this earlier, but if you're doing regular Google AdWords, you want to add the call extension on it, right? And this also would apply to Bing ads. Since mobile is picking up, and since more people are going to call from their mobile phones, you definitely want to have that call extension if you're doing the regular ads. So now go execute your 2019 internet marketing plan and make this year your best year ever. All right. And if you're still watching this live, go ahead and in the chat box, just type your email address in there for me so I can get these bonuses out for you. So I'm going to send you again the online marketing checklist where we talk about the 10 keys to appliance repair marketing success online. I'm going to send you a link to the latest appliance repair keywords, both for SEO and pay-per-click. So that's going to include a lot of those near me keywords that we talked about earlier. So you have the latest there. And then I'm going to give you this infographic on the 8 key things that you should be focusing on if you want to dominate your local marketplace. So go ahead and just enter your email there in the chat box and I'll get this emailed over to you within the next 24 hours. And at the end of every webinar, we'd like to offer a free 2019 online marketing plan review. All right, so where we'll analyze your online visibility. We can talk about a custom keyword list. We can take a look at your rankings. And just so you know, this is not a sales call, right? I literally do these calls just to help appliance repair companies out. We don't even have to talk about any of the services that the appliance experts offer, right? It's really just a free phone call to help you do better with your online marketing, as well as I learned so much from talking to different appliance repair business owners. It helps me to expand my knowledge. We can take a look at the reviews and reputation if that's a problem for you. We can also take a look at your social presence. And finally, we can take a look at the website conversion, right? How is your website doing? Is it set up to convert visitors into callers, into leads? So if you're interested in taking me up on this free 2019 online marketing plan review, you can give us a call at 866-561-5627. Again, that's 866-561-5627. And just let one of my assistants know that you want to set up an appointment to speak to me, and they'll get that scheduled for you. My name is Marlon. Hope you found this information useful, and we look forward to speaking with you on the next webinar. Take care, guys. Happy 2019.